All right, folks. So welcome to the first in a series of videos that will show you how to create a blocky pixel type character using Autodesk Maya. The version I'm going to use for this is 2023, but there are 2025, 2026. I mean, you can pretty much do this stuff with any of the versions. And so it's going to be a real basic series of videos that will show you how to create a character, uh, texture it, rig it, and then start to animate it. And so hopefully you get something out of it. It's a really good intro to the basics of Maya. So if you've pulled up your Maya software, you will see a screen something like this. I'm going to hit new. And when I do, it takes us to our interface. And I'm going to go, I always start over here in the top right where it says workspace and it says general. If yours is not on general, go ahead and choose that. But then I also like to do this, hit this reset current workspace so that your display will look exactly like mine. Um, then the next thing we want to do is go to File and down here to Project Window. And we are going to create a new project. And we'll just call this blocky character. And then I'm going to hit the folder there and I'm going to go to, I think I'll put it on my desktop and hit select. Leave everything else the same and just hit accept. Now what we are going to do is do a file save scene as, and because we created that project window or project setup, now if we go to save as, it's going to tell us that it's trying to save in our desktop, in our blocky character folder, under the scenes folder. And I'm going to go ahead and call this blocky 1. And each video, I'll just save it as a new name, or as the next number up so that you would have all the different steps there. So I'm going to hit save. Now the next thing we want to do, I'm going to go ahead and pull up my computer options, go to my downloads, and you should have downloaded these reference images from the information below. They're nothing fancy, just our blocky character sketched out, front view and a side view. Because it's this type of character, we don't really need any other views to work with. It's a pretty basic character, which makes it a really good one to start learning. And so what I'm going to do is take it, select them, copy them out of my downloads. I'm going to go to my desktop, go to my blocky character, and I'm going to go ahead and put it under, actually, let's go ahead and put it under source images and hit paste so that I'll have those. All right, so I'm going to close that. Now we're ready to get started. So a couple things about Maya and some of the basics. If you're working with a mouse that has the wheel in the middle, if you scroll the wheel forward and backwards, it zooms you in and out. You can also do the same effect by holding Alt and the right mouse button and then scrolling, moving the mouse forward and backwards. That'll zoom in and out. Alt and the middle mouse wheel push down will allow you to pan side to side, up and down. And then Alt and the left mouse button will allow you to rotate your view. So those are the big things when working with Maya. So again, Alt, right mouse button zooms in and out. Alt, left mouse button rotates. Alt, mouse wheel pans. Scroll the mouse wheel, zoom in and out. All right, so now let's get started. So in this first video, what we are going to do is we are going to set up some reference images that we will use for modeling our character. And so to do that, we're going to want to work in other views rather than just perspective. So over here on our toolbar, I'm going to go down about halfway, and there is the panel layout button. You can click it, or if you press space on your keyboard and your mouse is hovering over the main scene window, it will go to quad view. And in quad view, it defaults to a top view, front view, side view, perspective view. So I always recommend use the perspective to see how it looks from all sides, but use the orthographic views to actually do a lot of your design work. You may use perspective to grab specific vertices or faces, but again, use these for your design work. And if you ever need to change any of these, you simply go over whichever panel you want to use, go to panel, and if you do perspective, it defaults to have a perspective there, but you can also, once you start putting cameras in your scene, you'll see cameras listed there. Orthographic, you can choose the sides that you might need again. All right, so to set up our work for what we're trying to do for this episode is just getting some um, reference images of our character. So I'm going to start with the front view. I'm going to hover above it, and the moment I press spacebar, if I'm hovering over it, it will focus on that view. So now I'm going to go to, let's see, view, then image plane, import image. And because I put my files in my source images folder, I can see them. So I'm going to choose my front reference. So it might be kind of small. We'll adjust sizes in a little bit. I'll show you how to do that. But I'm going to press spacebar again to go back to quad view. And I'm going to hover over side view, press spacebar, and I'm going to go to view, image plane, import image, and do side. So now I've got, if I press spacebar again, I've got two of them. If I go to my perspective view and zoom in a little bit, I will notice that this one is a little bit off, and it's probably just when I made it in Illustrator, I used a slightly thicker stroke on it. We can fix that. We want them close to each other. We might also want them a little bigger. So what I'm going to do is choose the front one, which is labeled image plane 1. And to make things more organized, I'm going to double click on where it says image plane 1 here in my outliner. If you do not see your outliner, just go to Window, Outliner. The outliner will show you everything that is in your scene. So I'm going to go ahead and call this front reference. I'll click on the side one and call it side reference. And I'm going to grab the front one. And over here, if you don't see this channel box layer editor, it should be along the side here, probably closed up. You can just click it and it pops up. And for the scale, I'm going to set it to 2. Now I could go through and manually do each one. That's one way to do it. Or I can shift select all of them and it will let me change one and do all of the others with the same setting. So I'm going to put it at 2. Then I'm going to take the side reference, select all of those as well, put it at 2. And again, we got to shift this a little bit. So what I'm going to do over here on my toolbar, this little tool right here, if you hover over it, it's a scale tool. I'm going to scale it down a hair. Then I'm going to go up a little bit on my toolbar and grab the move tool. I'm going to shift it up some to see if I can get them a little closer, which I think that will work because I've got my hand lined up, got my feet pretty close, shoulders pretty close, head pretty close. So I think we'll be all right. The only part that doesn't really line up is this hairline, but that's fine. We'll mess with that in texturing. All right, so then I'm gonna zoom out a little bit, rotate my view. I'm gonna grab my side view, and with the move tool selected, I'm gonna grab this red arrow, and that's gonna allow me to just push it back off of this grid. Then I'm gonna grab my front view, push the blue arrow, which is gonna let me push off of the grid. But now I've got both of those. And I'm gonna go ahead and select them both and lift up. And I'm gonna bring them to the top, almost lined up with the grid. Or actually, you know what? Let's do their feet. Let's put their feet on the grid. There we go. All right. So now I've got my reference images set up. I don't want to accidentally mess them up. So what I can do is over here on my channel box layer editor. If I go down towards the bottom, there's this display tab and it says layers, options, help. If I go over to the far right, there's this one that has a diamond and a circle. It says create a new layer and assign selected objects. Make sure you have your front reference and side reference selected and then go click it. And it's going to basically create you a layer. We will rename it by double clicking. We're going to call this reference images. Hit save. When I do that, this V will allow me to turn them on and off. But then if I go right over here to this blank spot, I can turn it to transparent or reference. So now I can click away and now I can't click on them to accidentally mess them up. So now I can work without messing those up, and then I can just, when I'm done with them, turn them off. All right, let's see. Now to finish this off, we're gonna go ahead and go to quad view. And what I'm gonna do is on the shading for the front view, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it to X-ray. Shading for side view, I'm gonna turn it to X-ray. And what that's gonna do is when we start modeling in the next video, it will allow us to see through our objects so that we can see our reference images to use as a reference. All right, so finally, to end off this video, let's go ahead and do File, Save Scene As. We're just going to leave it called Blocky-1 since this is the first episode's work. And I'm going to hit Save As, tell it yes to replace, and there you go. You have made it through setting up your reference images